Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Follow Up Media podcast. My name is K Lee, Christian Lee. I've got many names and I answer to all of them, the good and the bad. I'm the CEO of Follow Up Media. Follow Up Media is a full service production and marketing agency specializing in content creation, distribution, the whole nine. And of course, sitting next to me, Riley-Zorro-Alstin.
Again, the Zorro, I've never even seen Zorro, or I don't even know what that is.
Millennials. Are you a millennial? I missed it. Yeah, I mean, he's a puppy.
Yeah.
So yeah, he doesn't know shit about Zorro. You know anything about that? He's like Mexican gunfighter. He's like the Mexican hero. Like, yeah, I mean, he's the Mexican Avenger.
Okay.
But he's just got a black tape, a hat, and like a fencing sword. And he carves the Z and shit. That's how you know he's there. Zorro has been there. That's his branding. And great branding it was, because bad guys would come get their ass beat and he would just, before he jacked them up, he'd go, and before you knew it, you had a Z carved into you, or your clothing anyway. So anyway, back to what we were actually going to talk about today. And that is one of my favorite things. It is called the content loop. Okay. So the content loop is basically a circle of content that is manifested from a podcast episode, a video series episode. Podcasts are really, really good because, you sit down for 20, 30, 40 minutes, and some people sit down longer than that, consistently, and you are able to get a wealth of content that you can use to not only promote your brand, your thought leadership, your podcast, your content, your website, anything, right? And it's a valuable concept. And we try to teach our clients about the content loop. So Riley, give me an idea.
One podcast episode, if it's done right, which is the big thing, if it's done right, it can honestly turn into 30 plus pieces of content across any major platform, such as YouTube, LinkedIn, TikTok, and even maybe your website as well.
Newsletter, right? You can use a portion of that, right? So it's how you turn a 45-minute conversation into a full month of digital marketing and more. This is real ROI, people. We're not just blowing smoke up your blouse.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not. And see, the problem is wasted content. And so that's where we're going to kind of expand here for a second. Most people treat podcasting like a side dish instead of a main course. They record, maybe they edit, maybe they publish, and then it just sits there.
Yeah.
There's no strategy. There's no repurposing. There's no YouTube video, no clips, no blog, no email newsletter. Just a single post that says, new episode out now. And
they wonder why they're not growing.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We're seeing leads. It's because they're treating their podcast like a checkbox, not like the core of their content ecosystem. And this is what we're talking about. You might go, God, it's just so much damn work. Well, you're right. It is if you're doing it by yourself. But if you have a company like Follow Up Media, which means you've got a budget.
Yeah.
We don't work for free. Our expertise costs money. I mean, shoot, just to get the expertise that we have right now and being able to execute the way we do, I can't even tell you the amount of money that we've invested in not only our team, but ourselves. It's like you see a band that just comes out of nowhere and they're just like an overnight success. They are on the charts, Q99.7, every top 40 station is playing their stuff 5 times an hour and just beating it to death, until you never want to hear that song again. You go, God, they just blew up.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They've been grinding for 10, 12, who knows what their journey is from when they started going down that music road to actually having a song that just, is the song of the summer or whatever. And so, there's a lot of value that we bring to the table. And, if you have someone like that can really help not only guide you, but get you from, where you are to the ROI you're going for, right? Is it more engagement? Is it more leads? Is it more, just building that, audience, so whichever it is, we will help create that content ecosystem. And so, Riley, break it down for like a third grader. What is the content loop?
So let's flip the script. What if we told you that your podcast could be your podcast engine for pretty much everything?
Your content engine, right?
Yeah. I mean,
That's the content loop, right?
Engine's a big part of your car.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go anywhere without that.
Yeah, the engine's a big part of your body too, right? I guess that would be your heart.
Yeah.
The major organ. Yeah, all right. Major organ, right? All right, so tell us about the content loop a little bit, Riley.
It's one well-executed podcast episode, and you can use it to create video, short-form clips, social graphics, blog posts, SEO content, email campaigns, and honestly, a lot more too.
I think you're making it move for me. All that talk. And here's the kicker. It's not about creating more work. It's about getting more value from the content that you're already making. If you're in Follow Up Media Studios, you are there to make content. And we're going to help you execute that. We're going to help you strategize on what those episodes look like. And here's the breakdown. So one episode becomes 30 plus assets, right? This is where your long form lives on YouTube. Your full video podcast will live on YouTube, right? There is an RSS integration in there for the audio version of your podcast episode, but the full video episode is going to live on YouTube. It's going to be edited, optimized, keywords, thumbnails, chapters, playlists, the whole nine. Audio is still king for commuting and multitasking, and we optimize for pacing, quality, and structure, and then we publish across all major platforms. You're talking about Apple, Spotify, iHeart, the RSS feed integration through YouTube, any podcasting platform, Amazon, you can go, Alexa, play the Follow Up Media podcast, exactly like that. And then you get between 4 and 8 reels, shorts, TikToks, that you will use to help get your content discovered by unknown people. So the people that don't know you.
So they're not even subscribed to you and they can still get.
Well, I mean, when you swipe on TikTok, for an example, you're just swiping, right? I mean, and then if you see Zorro come up on the screen and you go, God, I like what that guy looks like, and I like the way his mouth moves, then you might watch the whole, and guess what? Zorro might come back on your
That's true.
TikTok next time you log in.
Yep.
But those shorts and those high impact video snippets are designed for vertical platforms. You add captions, branded graphics, music, and a hook. Potentially got gold, right? And then what else, Riley?
So these are what pull new people into your ecosystem. We'll call it an ecosystem. I like that.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Stop right there for a second.
Yeah.
So this is really important to note. So on YouTube, most people, and I've had clients before go, well, gosh, our full video is only getting 20 views. Well, there's a good reason for that. You've got 5 subscribers.
Yeah.
Normally, the full video version of an episode, whether it be video series or podcast, is normally reserved. It's not like strictly, but the main people that are going to see that are going to be your subscribers. Shorts on YouTube and shorts on, or reels or whatever, stories, whatever platform you're talking about, those are used to get in front of people who don't know you or your brand or your content that has a direct lead back to the full video. See what I'm saying? Those are your hooks. Those are what go, oh, you know what? I like the truth that person is speaking. I want to hear more.
Yeah.
And then, when we've got the call to action in there, it goes right back to the full video. Or depending on what the call to action is at that time, it goes right back to the sign up form on your website. Anyway, sorry to interrupt, Riley. I just had to, because people get confused. They're like, well, how come my shorts are getting 2,000 views, but my full videos are getting 10?
Yeah.
Well, because those are your subscribers. Normally, your full videos are you're putting out that content for your already existing subscriber base. And if you don't have a big one, it's okay. We help build that. And that is done over time through consistency and well thought out content. Anyway, take it away, Riley. Tell them what they don't know.
Graphic content. So we design custom quote graphics, carousel posts with highlights, headshot titles, anything you can deliver value visually on platforms like LinkedIn or maybe even Instagram.
Yeah, carousel posts are great, headshot titles, anything that will make people go, I don't know what the hell he's talking about, but it looks good, or it looks enticing, or it's got a good hook, liner on it, like, hey, listen to this if you want to make $1 million in the next 5 minutes. I mean, like, oh, well, you know what? I mean, people are gonna like, I don't believe you, but I might just click on it and just hear what kind of bullshit you're trying to say, right? So blog posts or LinkedIn articles are great. We can turn your transcript from the full episode into a blog with a visually enticing graphic. Now, people, everyone, the birth of the blog, I don't really know what year it happened. Everyone still has one, even though no one is reading it for the most part. I'm not saying they have zero, but mostly blogs are created now for more of an SEO benefit. Even if people don't read them, you are creating a piece of content that is linked on your website, and it has a title and it has a description, and it can help boost some SEO traffic and have you show up in some search results, but it's more of a strategy and less of, I really think people are reading and caring about what I have to say.
Okay.
Now, that doesn't mean don't do it or I'm devaluing it. I'm just saying for the most, we see businesses every day that still has Old Faithful, the blog, and they have no other content. I guarantee if there were any analytics on that blog page, it would be next to zero.
Yeah, for sure.
Because who cares?
Yeah.
Right? Email. It's not dead. In fact, it's one of the most consistent ways you can drive traffic. And each episode fuels a newsletter with a teaser, key points, and we deliver and help you craft a strong CTA. And that is your call to action. What do you want these people who see your content to do after seeing or listening to your content? If you don't ask, you won't get.
Yeah. What about a full transcript?
Well, I mean, the full transcript is great too, if you want to be able to provide that, which we do. There are some people that would like to scan and read. People do read still. And a lot of times people will skim through the transcript to identify certain keywords that, might interest them. I'm not one of those guys. I would just listen to it, but anyway, but transcripts are great. AI tools is the way to go. Nobody is sitting there typing the transcript anymore. It's all AI driven, and it's 99% accurate for the most part, unless you use weird words like Riley does sometimes. But either way, we're going to tailor each caption for the platform it's on. What works on TikTok doesn't work on LinkedIn. We write like pros, but yet we format like marketers. That's really important. Let's let that sink in for a second. Our team writes like pros and format like marketers, right? We know the ecosystem of the platform we're posting on, and we are going to write and market in alignment with that ecosystem and your audience, right? Here's a great client example. We had a guy come in just recently, recorded a 40-minute episode. We got his full video, the full audio version, which went on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, etc. Full video went on YouTube. We got like 5 to 6 shorts, reels, TikToks, right? We pulled a blog from the transcription, which got ranked on Google. The newsletter, we used some of that podcast transcription and the podcast episode itself on their newsletter that got a 42% open rate. Now, we can't take all of the credit for that. Obviously, this client has an audience who A lot of them have subscribed. Maybe he just entered their email in and subscribed for them until they said, hey, take me off this crap. But 42% open rate, that's a good day. You are happy, happier than can be. You get 42% open rate, fantastic. So, but this is someone who has created a authentic connection with their audience. He's respected. He has done business with them, and 42% of that, base is opening up his newsletter. And then we did a LinkedIn carousel that drove 20 plus comments. Engagement, engagement, engagement. That is what these platforms want to see. They want to see your audience engage with you, and then you engage back with what your audience comments on.
And that's what we mean by smart content.
Yeah, it's not work. It's no more work. It's just more return on the work that you already did. And here's the thing, 95% of businesses still not even doing the work. There is no smart content. I'm going to be frank. What the hell are you doing? This is the way of the future. If you want to sell more, build more brand awareness, you need to create content that establishes you and why you're different than everybody else, and how you handle your clients and how you handle your team and what your team can do for your clients better than anybody else. And people will be able to see that, hear it, and if you're trustworthy and you're being authentic, it will come across.
But I actually seen it this week. There was a couple people that had content, so called digital marketing. They had a little bit of video on their website, but when I went to the YouTube, it's 4 years ago. So it's 2 years ago, 1 year ago. They don't post consistent. They did for that little time period. They were thinking that they were going to jump the gun and get it out there, and then they stopped.
Well,
So what's the point?
the point of stopping is, well, there's probably a couple different reasons, right? They thought to themselves, we need to create some content because other people were creating content.
Yeah.
And 4 years ago, that was even more ahead of their time.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. They had no idea what they were doing. They saw no real ROI from it.
Mm-hmm.
They got very little engagement. They got very little views or whatever vanity metrics that they probably in their head would go, let's keep going because, people are loving us, 5 of them or, whatever. So it became a more work, more investment, less results type situation. Now, I can't say that for every person who you have kind of discovered that's very similar. And we come across business are in that kind of range where we go and look, they did do some videos for a little bit of time, and it's been, 3 years since they posted any of them. And while we reach out to them, we might not have gotten the answers as to why did you get scared and stop. And, yes, it's very easy to go, well, don't stop. But if you don't have a real direction, you don't have that roadmap, really, where are you going?
Yeah.
And if you don't have the time, energy, or team to execute it correctly, you're going to spin your wheels. Now, granted, you could say some content's better than no content. Abso-freaking-lutely. But it really, to take advantage of every episode, the content loop, you really need a team, or you need a hell of a lot of time, skill, and experience, right? People say, I don't have time for content. But the truth is, they're wasting time by not maximizing the time that they already spend creating, if they're creating. And if they're not creating, there again, what the hell are you doing? I mean, what are you doing different now that is going to get you results? Or are you just going to throw more money at maybe a SEO company who's taking your money and not performing for it, or digital, or just actually just sitting back going, you know what, Ed? We got some referrals coming in. I think we're doing okay right now. Well, guess what? I hope that continues, but a lot of time that well dries up.
Yeah.
And you need an influx of new clients to execute for and wow, in order to get a whole new referral like pipeline in from those clients. Because eventually, your older clients, great, they might know somebody else, but those wells, I mean, in all honesty, do dry up. And if you've built a successful business on, word of mouth referrals, I mean, bow down to you. We hope that that well doesn't dry up. And maybe for some businesses, 20 years down the road, they're still fat and happy from referrals and word of mouth. And great if you can build that. I mean, but I would say a good 85% are going to end up in a situation where they wake up one morning and they go, well, damn, revenue was slow last month. What do we have for this month? Well, we don't really have any new leads coming in. Nobody's really referring anymore. Maybe they've gone through their pool of people who need your services at that time. Yeah. So the pipeline is always important to keep it going. But also, why wouldn't you want your brand out there going, hey, once again, this is us on the internet, your digital storefront. This is why you should use me over these assholes, because there are a ton of competitors in your space, sometimes more, real estate agent. I mean, how many thousands are they competing with for a listing or a buyer, essentially a lot of buyers and sellers listing agents, ultimately putting your house on the market, maybe doing a staging. It's kind of the same. I mean, like you got so many tools. But, it's the agents who have a ton of buyers they can send it out to, who do really creative stuff with bringing people to your listing. Those are the people. But you know what? You want to be able to stand out. Yeah. Now is the time for your company to stand out. 1 hour with Follow Up Media can give you a full podcast, a full YouTube strategy, 30 plus content assets, a brand presence across multiple platforms, 5 or 6, and a clear path that's going to get you new leads and opportunity. So followupmedia.com is where you need to, go. We have sign-up forms. You can reach out to us if you have questions about this particular content loop episode. If you want to just talk to Riley, you can reach out through our episode description. Please subscribe. Please share the show. Riley, how you feeling? What do you think? What do you think about the content loop?
I like the content loop. Yeah. I mean, the excuse is time for a lot of these business owners are saying, I don't have enough time, don't have enough time. You just listed off like in a ton of different ways that we could fit that in an hour.
Yeah. I mean, bullshit. We all have 24 hours in a day. And I have yet to meet the person that won't make time for something they deem a priority. If you think that, it doesn't matter, you will squeeze in. And if you also look, and it's none of our business of how we utilize each other's time. And for someone to go, well, look at you playing Words with Friends for 2 hours in a day. Like, obviously no one's going to go, well, maybe if you gave up some of your Words with Friends time, it's none of our business. But that being said, you got 60 seconds to a minute. You got 60 minutes to an hour. You got 24 hours to a day. Everybody can make time for what is important. Yeah. And so because Follow Up Media is a turnkey solution for a lot of our business owners to whatever level or degree you want us to be, right?
Yeah.
We can make your content creation initiative so easy. Yeah. I mean, all I'd say is give us a try. Give Riley a call. He's a great conversationalist behind the scenes. Yeah. He'll talk you down.
Or even come check out the studios, this state-of-the-art state-of-the-art studios.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I would take the Pepsi challenge or the taste test with most in, the Atlanta market. But yeah, I mean, besides that, and I'm not trying to brag, we're the best on the planet. We're pretty damn good though. And so if you want to have a conversation, we would love to have one with you. Yep. Followupmedia.com, Follow Up Media Podcast. This is Riley Austin. My name is Christian Lee. We will see you next week.
Boom.